Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yep, it's your boy, the Big Sam, on another OG Tuesday tantrum. Just to seem that people don't seem to understand what what it is, and what has been most notably our stance on one Raheem Morris. A lot of people uh, can't seem to answer a particular question. You know, um, who is, what is Raheem Morris? You know, um, when the conversation of him being a coach comes up, the question is asked: What did he do? How does he do? What scheme does he have? No one seems to be able to answer that question. You know, um, and the term, the sentence that's been mostly used to describe our perspective on Raheem Moses, hating on him. Um, but how we gonna hate on something that doesn't exist? Quite frankly, which is what it really boils down to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no one seems to be able to answer that question. When you talk about coaches around the league, you know, Kyle Shanahan, one of the better play callers in the league. Sean Payton, one of the better offensive minds, you know what I'm saying, in this league. Uh, you know, we know Jerome Mayo is a defensive minded coach, as proven in Sean. Sean McVay, same, same thing. One of the, he has a balance. He has a good offensive mind and defensive mind. When you ask that question about and of Raheem Morris, no, no direct scheme comes to mind. No, no reparation or description of what he does as a coach comes to mind. You can't, when you talk about Raheem Morris. He 4'3", 46, 3, 4, 5, 2. You know, spread offense. You know, he has a blitzing scheme mindset. None of that. You don't get none of that in the description of Raheem Morris. I asked the question 2 weeks ago. Who is Raheem Morris? Is he the 6-3 Raheem Morris the first half of the season, or is he the 2-7 Raheem Morris in the second half defensive clap of the season? I really begin to think that he's the latter. I mean, what is the conversation here? I mean, seeing as how it's being, discussed and thrown around, that the unholy alliance is hating on Raheem Morris. They're not giving him a chance. The man has had almost 20 years worth of chances, and what has he done? And please don't tell me anything about the Rams, because that team was already put together before he got over there. He was just a mantelpiece. He wasn't instrumental to the success of that team. And then let's not forget the conversation that Jalen Ramsey had in front of the world about the type of coach, or the lack thereof, that Raheem Morris is. He lets the players do whatever they want to do. Not necessarily anything that's called or dialed up during practice. Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah, I, the senator, six man, one drill, franchise, even coach, we've all been on Raheem Morris' head, and rightfully so. Because that unscripted bullshit on last season was just that unscripted bullshit. I mean, if anyone can actually answer the question, what does he do? What players have he made household names? You know what I'm saying? What players have he put in position to, be successful, be stars? What scheme has he ran through? You know what I'm saying? And became a whole household name. What coaches have he put in position to be coaches and get head coaching jobs? These are the questions that need answers to that nobody can seem to answer. You know what I'm saying? And this is the whole thing. When you sit and you put yourself, what I'm saying, in front of a microphone and say that the members of the Unholy Alliance are hating on Raheem Morris, that is complete and utter rhetorical bullshit. The fact is, none of you motherfuckers can answer the goddamn question. You can't. And the question, and I've asked the question 1,000 times almost. Who is Raheem Morris? Is he the 6-3 first half season, or he's the 2-7 defensive collapse? Raheem Morris. Well, you got to give him a chance. The man been in the league for 20 years and have done absolutely jack shit. You cannot sit up and have a conversation and tell me what scheme has he notarized and put together that is, what I'm saying, put records in the record books, or made household stances, or done some in a prime moment in a championship position. And don't say the Rams, because that team was already put together. Again, he was just a mantelpiece that was there on that staff. Hey, good afternoon, good evening, Senator.
I feel like you're taking shots at me. I'm very
I mean,
upset about it.
people like to, get out here and utter blasphemous bullshit. So busy trying to be right and can't say nothing but wrong shit. Everything that we have ever stated about Raheem Morris is factual. Here's a blank piece of paper with his name on the top of it. Ain't nothing else on it. To put it lightly. I mean, I welcome it. I welcome, what I'm saying, for somebody to tell me who is Raheem Morris. What is the definition of Raheem Morris? What scheme has he made a household name? What player has he made a star out of? What coach has he put in the position to be what coordinator, or, what I'm saying, or whatever, has he, put in position to, get a job somewhere as a head coach?
He's never groomed anything. You just got a bunch of people saying, I like Raheem.
I.e. Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey said he just taught him passing schemes. If you really analyze what Jalen Ramsey said, he said Raheem taught him things about the wide receiver and cornerback position that he didn't think about. He never said he helped develop his technique. He never said he turned him into a better defensive back. He said he helped me think about things that I didn't think about. So what does that mean? You just taught him, you just made him think about something differently. That's not developing a player. That's not turning
Nope.
him into a superstar. You just made him think about things that wasn't, and that's a talent in itself. But that doesn't translate to wins. That doesn't translate to better stats. That doesn't translate to more interceptions. That doesn't translate to more wins. That doesn't translate to anything.
I mean, well, as a man in a position of head coach, um, you gather talent,
What's going on, Bedard?
personnel. You gather talent and personnel. Then comes the question of, you know, scheme, uh, n- n- noteworthy progress.
Well,
What is it that you have in place? What makes you you? These are the questions that need to be answered, man. But can't nobody seem to answer these questions.
because they don't know. They
I
don't know.
mean,
And
how is
they
it that
don't know because I don't know, Sam. That's the
right?
thing. I don't know. I've researched and I still don't know what he's good at. And this is why I can I can sleep and I can sleep well because I know if I ask you a question, there's nothing you could say in regard to Raheem that doesn't you know resemble hope. I know everything that you're going to say is going based on hope. Why? It's because I've done my homework. I've done my research. And I know there's nothing out there based on, well, man, he got to be good at some, or, oh, man, the Falcons hired him for a reason. That's hope. That's not factual. When we're talking about, when we talking about what is with Raheem, well, we do know he was a part of a championship team. Do we know that he was like the main part of that championship? Did he develop Aaron Donald? Did he do that? Because that's the best player on that team. Did he develop um Mustang? No, we don't know that. And I'm talking about Jalen Ramsey. That's what we know he didn't develop. We know he didn't develop because he was developed in Jacksonville. So you
Hmm.
look at the two best players on that team, Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald at the time. He didn't develop any of those guys. Those guys were already there. So all I ask respectfully for anybody to I want to be proven wrong. I want to learn more about Raheem. I want to know more about. I know more about Jeff Obert and what
Yep.
he's done and what he's developed than what I've done. I haven't seen one player came out and said, "Yep, he's responsible. Raheem Morris is responsible for making me the All Star player that I am." Not one player has stepped up and said that.
This is true. I mean, because when Aaron Donald made his exit speech, he didn't mention Raheem Morris, not a one time in that whole 20-minute little episode. He did not mention Raheem Morris. So I mean, so what are we talking about here, people?
Raheem has leadership qualities that you want in a head coach, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be great at developing guys. That means when you have a guy that has the has the abilities to be a good leader, but the good leader still has to have ability to develop talent. You can't just, all right, what are you leading? Basically, you leading a bunch of scrubs. You got to
Yeah.
have somebody that's good. So look, is Raheem energetic? Yes. Is Raheem good at being able to connect to not only players, organizations, fans, media? Absolutely. That's a good trait to have. But I don't care about him being able to connect. This ain't Hollywood Squares, goddamn it. This ain't the Love Boat, okay? This ain't what that is. This is about football. This is about results. Give me results. I don't care about your. I don't care nothing about your ability to make me feel good. All right, I can beat my own meat and feel good. Okay.
Mm, yes, that is true. That's, yes.
You just making y'all feel good. That's what you're telling me. When you say Raheem, give him a chance, you just telling me he makes you feel good. That's all. I
he,
can get a
he,
look. I can get a chick to make me feel good. I'm very good at that. I know Sam. He knows that for sure.
right.
I don't need somebody to make me feel good. I need to win.
I mean, you know, when it comes to, when it comes down to being a head coach, the head coach, I think in my book, is a franchise organizer to construct the staff that he's able to delegate to, and you know position coaches, coordinators to exact the vision and mission of the team.
Hmm. He definitely is a franchise organizer. That's what his job. That's my job at AFN and Mad Mike Sports Unholy Alliance. That's my job. I'm supposed to organize and make sure everybody where I recognize what Sam's strengths are, what Kale's strengths are, what Warren's strengths are, what OG Truth his strengths are. It's my job is to figure out what they're good at and put them in positions to lead. But if they can't do that job, guess who has to step up and do it? Yes,
The,
me.
the HNIC.
That's it. That's what we're looking at when we're talking about Raheem. This is the reality of it. If Jimmy Lake can't do it, I need you to step up. I don't know why that's so difficult to understand. When we look at Jeff, when we look at not only a guy like Jeff Obert, but Jimmy Lake, we look at a lot of the offensive coordinators. If my thing is if I'm the defensive guy, I was brought here to help build the defense. That's what he was brought here for. And the guy that I brought in is not doing his job well, then I have to be honest about myself and honest about the numbers because at the end of the day, it's about the numbers. And wins are a part of the numbers. And if you're not getting either, and you're inconsistent, as Sam stated, from 6-3 to 2-7, then I got to figure out because I'm the head guy in charge. All right, why can I do it? And if you can't do it, are you really who you say you are?
Yeah, that's just fact. This is fact. This is fact. I mean, what? Okay, based on what we saw in that whole uh, bizarre world of a season on last season, one thing that comes to my mind that is a big bug in big situational moments, no ability to adapt or adjust. We saw it with the misuse of timeouts. We saw it with the misuse of personnel. We saw it with the misuse or the lack thereof of the defensive play calling. In some cases, some of the offense. in offensive spots, and even in situational leadership, and recognizing that you have a guy that is hurt and shouldn't be on the field. That's what we have on the paper right now. That's what we have on our notes on one Raheem Morris as a head coach. I mean, so again, when the question is asked, what is Raheem Morris? No one has a sufficient answer, a viable one, you know, one that would make sense of the fuckery. You know what I'm saying. And then when you look at that what makes this upcoming season rather intriguing, all things given, in the state of affairs of the Atlanta Falcons with the personnel that has been drafted and brought in, uh, adjustments to the staff, additional Albright, dude. The situation, the ball, if you will, is in your office. It's in your office. How are you going to lead this team? Is this is the guys in that facility really responding to you? What can are we? Because I haven't heard anyone say anything about the direction or the vision of what we're, you know, what's Raheem's vision. And that's kind of disturbing to me. Now you're hearing about, guys, being in minicamp, showing up in good shape, you know what I'm saying, and tearing up equipment, because they're so strong and violently strong and this, that, and the third, you know. But from a head coaching perspective, what is the vision? We know what the mission is. The mission is the same. It's the same with the other 31 teams in the league, to make it to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the vision? What is the scheme? What is the program? And when it comes down to this guy, the name that we keep calling Raheem Morris, no one has an answer. But quick to say that we're hating on Raheem Morris. No, we're establishing the facts of what we've seen from Raheem Morris as the head coach of this team. Can you make a list and you go down that list and you could check it off and say, well, he's done this. Yeah, he's been a good leader. Can you check that and honestly say, yeah? No, you can't. When you go down and you look at, okay, playbook attributes, what scheme is he exacting? What guys have been successful, what I'm saying, in his form and his fashion of what he's trying to exact on the field? Not really. You get more questions than you get answers. But we hate.
Look, man, you have more fun thinking about picking your nose than you think about him actually being successful. I have more fun looking at boogers, okay, than I look at his numbers defensively. Because I
Hey.
haven't seen much, and this is not from a guy that doesn't want him to succeed. But you're not going to sit up here and tell me and sell me a dream based on what we hope. Okay,
Facts.
Keep hope alive. Look, you keep that bullshit to L Sharpton. That's his slogan. But fuck a slogan. I don't care nothing about no keep hope alive. I need to see with my team. I need to see that Michael Vick can run. I need to see for myself that he can run. I need to see Matt Ryan being one of the most accurate quarterbacks, the most clutch quarterbacks. I need to see that for myself. I need to see what this guy called Michael Jordan could do. I need to see what this guy called LeBron James could do. I need to see what Kobe Bryant could do. I need to see a Shaquille O'Neal for myself to see if he's the real deal. I don't need you keep telling me that, oh man, this guy in Ohio, he good. He's gonna be the next big thing, but we never see him. This is essentially what a lot of people are doing in regards to Raheem. You keep telling me that he's a good guy and he's a good coach, but we're not seeing it. And you expect me to jump on board and hit backward flips and say, "Yay, team," when I'm not seeing consistency.
Raymond Elder, that is the $150 million Jeopardy question.
Mm,
That is. That is the Jeopardy question that has no answer.
no, he's absolutely 100%. I mean,
Mhm.
the thing is, teams interviewed him, but the Falcons were the only team that hired him because you know they did not. They got nervous about Bill Belichick, and we now know why. But that's why they ultimately hired Raheem. And in hindsight, this is just my personal opinion. I don't think they really wanted Raheem. I think he was the safest coach at that particular moment because of Bill Belichick and what the hell we seeing now with that chick of his. Because they was all on board. They was all on board with Bill Belichick, and then something happened. Like I said, I'm just saying. So you know, I'll be the first one, and y'all have seen us do this before. Be on live show, do a live show because we're not pussies like a lot of these content creators. They duck and hide when they're wrong. We make a live show and we would come in here and let y'all put us on the Summer Jam screen and we will take our punishment like we always do. We take our punishment when we're wrong. We were wrong with Matt Ryan when he was traded. We did a live show and y'all smoked us. We don't run
Mhm.
from controversy.
No.
We don't duck and hide and say, hey man, I forgot. My baby mama had to go to the hospital. All that bullshit. Oh, my baby sick. I need to change the diapers. I need to go get some diapers at 2 o'clock in the morning. We don't make up these weak ass excuses.
No.
We
You
stand
know,
in the fire.
mhm.
Hey, Diamond, how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. I mean, but like I said, we what we have on the paper, what we've discussed from the beginning of last season to now. People want to sell you an ice cream cone full of bullshit and say, well, y'all never said anything good. Or why would we say anything good about it? Has he done anything for us to say anything good about?
Man, he did the exact. He won more game better than Arthur Smith so far this in 1 year. Am I supposed to jump up? Look, we still did not make the playoffs. What is there to be? What is there to look forward to?
We went from 6-3, having destiny in hand, in a position to move up at least to 3 seed in the NFC
Uh-huh.
to to the 15th in the damn draft. The absolute worst second half collapse that I have ever seen in all of my time of watching football. I have never seen a second half of a season collapse worse than what I witnessed on last season from this team, led by this burnt milk dud. 2-7 with the division lead in hand, swept Tampa. We went from 4-0 in the division to sitting outside and watching the playoffs. But we have no reason to be on Raheem Morris' head. But we ain't giving him a chance. The man been in the league for goddamn 20 years, and you gonna tell me that performance as a head coach on last season was the best that you could put up? Was the best you could do? There was nothing executive about the decisions that he made on last season. There was nothing promising shown from the head coaching position on last season. But we're supposed to sit here with our goddamn thong all greased up and pom poms had it. Yeah, oh, Raheem is gonna. Oh, hell no. Got me fucked up.
You know what's funny? The
Was
table
it?
has turned on those people that said in order to for Matt Ryan to gain respect, he got to win us the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
But when it comes to Raheem Morris, y'all want to say give him an opportunity when he's not putting up no numbers and he's not doing anything well. It's the funniest thing that
That,
the people that were accused of supporting Matt Ryan and being a Ryanite, which we were on a oh boy, the whole world was against us because we were Matt Ryan fans, and we said we need to appreciate him because he's winning us games. He's going out. We've had the best time in our franchise history under Matt Ryan's thumb. We were accused
facts.
of being Ryanites, and then with this guy, we're doing the exact same. We're doing the complete opposite of what we were doing under Matt Ryan. And y'all are saying no, we need to give him an opportunity because he hasn't had an opportunity to play to coach. Like it's the funniest. It's funny, man. You know how many arguments that Sam and I got into because we said, "Hey, this man is giving us. We're winning games with Matt Ryan. We're putting up insane numbers, historic numbers, and we would call Matt Ryanites. We would call uh, 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 supporters and coons because we supported a winner. And then here you go, the people now y'all supporting losers, and y'all calling us coons, and because we're not supporting the black man. It's the craziest thing.
You know,
But y'all don't hear me though.
no,
I'm trying
no.
real hard to make amends, but I'm losing all my motherfucking friends.
It's funny, and the sad part is these people, they don't even recognize the fact of how they sound.
No, they have no
They
record.
don't.
No,
They don't.
just tell me
So
wrong.
you gonna jump in this? You gonna jump on this bandwagon with this guy, and you gonna ride off that damn cliff with him again?
And we crazy because we saying, nah, I want to see what happens first before I jump on that bus. We just want to test drive it first before we jump on the bus. That's really what we're doing. We want to test drive it first
Mm.
before we buy that car because that's what essentially what we're doing. I want to test drive the car before I jump in and say it's mine. Y'all just want to buy it because look, it got it got rims on it. Got a nice little paint job. The interior really good, but no, I don't think I need to. I like what I'm seeing. I don't need to see what's under the hood.
I mean, it's shiny. It's nice and dark. He look like most of us in here in this city. Y'all don't shut y'all chicken George asses up with that bullshit. I mean, I mean, when is enough gonna be enough? When is understanding? Okay, having all black everything don't necessarily mean it's gonna be everything. Hmm. I'm just saying. Okay, I mean, what are we what are we gratifying here? What are we notarizing here? Is it about the symbol or is it about wins and losses? Yeah, yeah. I'm reaching in your guts. What is it? Is it about the symbol or is it about wins and losses? Because if it's about wins and losses, then yeah, I mean, he should have had his pink slip the moment the clock struck zeros on that last game on that season. And here it is right now, and people are looking at the schedule and why is the schedule so hard? Look, it's the NFL. Everybody's schedule hard, year in and year out. So what are you saying? I mean, you want to have a difficult schedule to, iron sharp as iron is what I heard the saying, right? You could go and face, what I'm saying, battle tested teams. So by the time you get down to the get down and you're over 500, maybe leading the division in a playoff spot, playing for seeding, and your guys are, going to be able to go into the playoffs ready for anything because they have been through everything throughout the season. So why wouldn't you want to? But I think simply right now why you talking that noise because deep down y'all motherfuckers know that this Homer Simpson ass motherfucker ain't shit.
And like I said, at the end of the day, you just got to prove it to us. You got to prove it. You can't say you want greatness and you want wins, but you're accepting mediocrity. This ain't this is literally the definition of mediocrity.
Yeah, yeah.
89 literally is the definition of accepting mediocrity. The exact same thing that was the complete opposite with Matt Ryan. Every year that dude gave us at the very least 9 wins every season for almost 14 years. For 14 years,
19.
he was giving us 9 to 10 wins every year, and y'all said that was mediocrity. And now we're literally winning 7 games a year, and y'all accepting that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you're a Matt Ryan fan. You selling for me to it's so kind of dick with that shit on. Y'all had to, you have to figure out what your definition of success. your definition of stability, your definition of the will to win, your definition of a head coach. Because if you're sitting here and wanting to give that shit a chance and you're okay with that bullshit that happened last season, it's something verifiably wrong with you. It's something very wrong with your mindset and concept. When you got a guy that is supposed to be leading this franchise from a head coaching position and couldn't spell executive, you know what I'm saying, to make a goddamn decision to save his life. I mean, somebody help us help
Mhm.
you. Help us help you. Okay? What is a Raheem Morris? Who is Raheem Morris? Define his vision for this team. Since how we're wrong for our assessment and perspective, define his vision of this for this team. Take a good look at last season from training camp to clock struck zeros on that last game and tell us what the fuck is a Raheem Morris and what is his program? What is his initiative? What is the goal? And no, don't give me no outrun the South bullshit. Don't come this way and wiping shit on my face and try to tell me it's mud. Nah,
I'm just saying.
because you people, you overly smart dumb motherfuckers. The truth like to say. I mean, come on. I challenge you to give a sufficient definition of our head coach and his vision.
Look, I will highlight every comment. I will literally, please, not only leave it on Sam, but leave it on my channel. It doesn't matter. Matt Mike Network, Matt Mike Sports. We'll see it.
Yeah,
Please
that
show
that
me.
that
I,
that,
I
that, that
want
Dan Quinn 2.0 shit right there, Raymond.
we
Yeah.
know. Look, I told y'all can go back and look at the
Yeah.
video. The video
Yeah.
when I told y'all this is gonna be nothing but Dan Quinn point 2.0. And y'all
Mm-hmm.
no, Mike, man, we need to give him a chance. Okay. I gave him a chance. And look, he's not even doing with Dan Quinn. At least Dan Quinn gave us 10 wins.
I would, and I'm gonna tell you something. This is like drinking vinegar right now because the last thing I really like to do is even remotely co-sign some shit that this motherfucker here next to me done said and he was right about. Okay, he told y'all ass. He told y'all ass on the video that this was gonna be some unordinary Dan Quinn 2.0 shit. He did.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He did. And he wasn't wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Sonya say, uh, some Falcon fans say Raheem Morris should be given another chance at being head coach because he's black, but it has been other black head coaches that has been successful in the NFL. Right. Actual coaches. Yeah. Actual coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
I mean, you could go and dig up this man's resume, and there's nothing on there that tells you he deserves to be a head coach in anybody's league. in anybody's franchise. Not nothing. There's nothing on on his resume that stands out where he's made stars of guys. You know, he where he's exacted a scheme that is transcended. You know what I'm saying, through the league that other coaches have tried to copy.
Look, if y'all can find some, I'm more than willing to read it out. I'm more than willing to research it myself, but I haven't found anything. I just feel like a guy that has that. It's like going to a job and you really are not very good at your job, but you got a bunch of guys that are, they are either, excuse me, but these guys are the head of the organization. They managers. They've been managers at four, five, six different stores, and they all spoke for you. This is what Raheem. This is essentially what Raheem is. He's a guy that everybody likes. We know why.
Mm.
He's a good guy. I'm not gonna say he's not a good guy because he's a good guy. Is he, you know, an attractive guy? I ain't gonna go all that far, but like, look, the nigga ain't look. He don't look like Kermit the Frog. You know what I'm saying? Good looking guy. He got the personality. I mean, he has the knowledge. So he has, three traits right off of that. If you're just looking at aesthetics, just if you're
He's
just
an
looking at
overcooked milk dud that show his teeth all the damn time.
that, and that's all I'm saying, Sam. So you can see why organizations would be drawn to make him a head coach because of those things and those things alone. But look, I'd rather have a guy that's 400 pounds, can barely walk, but he can coach his ass off, and Andy Reid than a guy like him that looked like a damn supermodel. Andy Reid was motherfucking 300 pounds on that sideline. People don't realize that. Andy Reid was 300 pounds. Nobody look, him in Philadelphia fought for years. They did not like nothing about Andy Reid, but
No,
they could not deny his ability to coach. That man could coach his ass off. They wanted to fire him so many times, but they know they wasn't gonna get no better than Andy Reid. So they had to force him out. They had to force Andy Reid out of Philadelphia. And you see, that's one of the biggest mistakes they've ever done. Because look
mm,
at him. He's shown himself to be honest, man. I'm gonna be honest. And Bill Belichick has done his thing. Bill Walsh has done their thing. But I think the greatest coach of all time is arguably Andy Reid because he's not only done it four times in a row with Philadelphia, but whew, look what he's doing with the Chiefs right now. He's already showing you there wasn't no mistake.
you I guess you could probably say he's one of the best apples that fell off that Mike Holmgren tree.
Hmm. Without question. Yep. Hmm. Without question.
You know, even though let me see, late Danny Green, he did well. Mariucci did well. Uh, Gruden did well. But Andy Reid is by far is the best thing that fell off that Mike Holmgren tree. And
Hmm.
and he mess around with the mess around and he get two, three more of them things. He's gonna end up in that conversation with the Chuck Nose and Bill Walsh's and the Bill Belichick's, you know, is the greatest coach to ever do it. I mean, it, the moment that man made Patrick Mahomes starter, he's been every AFC championship game to date since then.
Just saying.
and has been in what, 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls.
Success leaves a trail. Again, you can see why Andy Reid is who he is. You can see why Sean Payton is who he is.
Hmm.
Everywhere he's gone, he has a top 10 offense. Sean Payton has. You say whatever you want to say about his time in the Saints. That's our rival, and I understand it. But
Yeah,
you can't deny his ability to coach. He's a hell of a coach. The end.
facts, 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 man. You know, yeah. I just popped up tonight to add another chapter to the understanding the facts of our perspective on one Raheem Morris. You know what I'm saying? To put it fresh on y'all minds. You know, against the rhetoric.
And you see, Sam and I can actually talk without cussing people out, y'all.
Facts,
Hmm.
facts, facts. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to, put that out there, get that out there, amongst the chaotic rhetoric that is being spewed, you know, about our standpoint on Raheem Morris.
Right.
You know, you
Y'all just
know,
hate that man. Y'all hate a man now. Okay.
I mean, that if that's what you think, then you're not listening to what we're saying. If
Right.
that if that is your if that is your observation of it, you're not listening. You're not hearing for understanding. You're not comprehending what we're saying. You're not paying attention, and you don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of y'all spend a whole lot of time, what I'm saying, trying to make us wrong so you can sound right, and you be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
10 big toes wrong. 2 left shoes wrong. Okay, you know, but hey, if you understand, you understand, and you know what I'm saying. You heard it, you get it. You know what I'm saying, and we give it to you straight, no chase. You know what I'm saying, hard toast with no butter.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's some gum cutters right there, boy.
Hmm. Black coffee.
Woo! Now that, that,
Hmm.
that, mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's eye openers
So,
right there, boy.
oh yeah. So the 13, the 14 eyes that are on this program, y'all do me a favor and hit that like button for me. Hit that like button for me. You know what I'm saying? Share it, tell a friend about it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not a part of the network, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please. I appreciate it. I love you. Because Mr. White Network does not work without you. You know what I'm
Without,
saying? It don't work without you. Without y'all, you know what I'm saying, in here dialoguing, debating, you know what I'm saying, asking questions, what would it be? You know, I appreciate it. We appreciate it every time, every day. You know, tomorrow's hump day. Be back with another episode of the T. Uh, I know Mike, will be back with the heavy hitters, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, we may give it a, yeah, we may give it another rest because baby girl is leaving the hospital about 4 o'clock, so I'm positive K Style gonna fall asleep. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we may just call it off. But I, like I said, I may do something really. early in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Jew been driving us. He been driving the truck. We look, I take my occasional uh turn driving it, but Drew been driving it. So I like
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't already, just go to Jew Talk Sports and Sam, while K Styles and I, take our little short brief off because we don't get off days during the season. We don't take off days during seasons. We keep them going.
Don't worry, I have a fresh pot of tea for you tomorrow. We in sports tea. Um, you know, we'll have a few things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? I had a young knight in the franchise in tow, as well. You know, and hey, look, you just a pop up OG2 to tantrum. Just to get a few facts straight, a few perspectives cleared up, if you will. You know what I'm saying? To take with you into your end of your night. Get ready to lay it down, bump and grind, or whatever your uh, activity may be at this particular moment. Hey, Christy, how you doing?
No, don't. Christy is my special one. We can share. Never mind. We can share.
Hey,
Christy and Auntie Pam. Yeah, I get a little possessive over them too.
Mhm. But hey, man, you know what I'm saying? We gonna set it out. You know what I mean? Got the program notes out. You got a final thought you want to put out there before we close the thing.
No, man. Like I said, a lot of times how we are perceived, a lot of the times is based on just how our tone is, and I always tell people, don't be offended by how it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Do not be offended about how it sounds. Take the time and actually listen to what people are saying before you come to a conclusion. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, yeah. You know, some people can't. What I'm saying, sift through a higher tone of your voice. You know, some people can't sift through it. Oh, he ain't just raising hell. I ain't talking about nothing. But then you
Mhm.
actually stop and pay attention and actually listen to the words, and hear the conversation and whatnot. You tend to learn a little something, or get a better perspective. You know, it is what it is.
I'm confused because people be like, when I calm down, it's like, what the hell wrong with you? Why you calm? So I don't know what the hell to do. Like,
Hey,
no, nobody
it,
want
it,
no damn mellow Mike. What the fuck wrong with you? Hey, why you ain't screaming? Why you ain't cussing people out? I want to be cussed out. Then when I cuss you, oh my god, Mike, it was too mean. I can't believe you doing that.
they be drunk off that shinola.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, that extra vial of angryism. You know, it is. I mean, I don't understand some of you people. You
I
you
don't get it. I
you
don't
know
get it.
you get out of sorts because you ain't getting enough attention, and you come out here and hit seeing on stupid shit. And then when the mother do give you, what I'm saying, that energy, that attention you be seeking, and then it's a problem. Now your feelings hurt. I, that wasn't even necessary.
That wasn't even necessary. You had to call me stupid like that.
But you requested that. Now you asked for that. You came on this platform and said, and you came on this platform and hit sin on the fuckery. So I have to try to give you what you want,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But hey, we gonna say good night. We got the message out, you know what I'm saying, and we getting ready and move on to the next. Look, man,
Mm-hmm.
for the senator. We got to keep it A. Got to keep it dirty. And most notably, you got to keep it real with yourself. Let your next choice, be your best choice, man. But Young Holy Alliance, man. Teflon OG, Dirty Red, Mad Mike, we out.
Nope.